Item D, additional positions. The board will be asked to approve up to 6 additional early childhood teachers and up to 6 additional paraprofessionals and 1 special ed teacher at the high school for the 2017-2018 school year. So this is this reconfiguration thing's getting real now, right?
Yes, it's a little more serious every day. Just want to take you back to our original budget that we presented prior to taking this to the community as to vote on a levy, and the 2 areas that are highlighted up at the top call out the cost for the certified teachers in the ECSC area and additional teachers in the pre-K area. So there would be 3 in each of those tonight. Teachers' aides would be 6, and I haven't just wanted to call your attention to this. Down in the lower right corner, you'll notice where our current budget is falling in that orange box, and then the yellow is the kind of the range that we presented to our community. So just wanted to remind people that are watching, we've made some commitments. We're sticking with those commitments. We're living within the budget, and as we plan through this. So tonight, the recommendation is for to approve 3 new positions for early childhood teachers. It'll be 3 FTEs, 1 pre-K classroom in each of the 3 elementaries. Then 3 early childhood special education teachers, and the recommendation is up to 3 to be located at Wyman. 3 additional. These are new positions. It may be 2.5, maybe 3, depending on what we do with some other staff. Obviously, we'll share that with you if there's changes in other staff positions. But wanted to ask for approval of up to 3. And then approval of 6 early childhood paraprofessionals. 3 would be 5-day per week positions, and 3 would be 4-day per week positions. So that's the recommendation for tonight. If approved, we'll post those positions tomorrow and begin taking applications with the intent of hiring those for the FY fiscal year.
So a person with an early childhood certification, what can they teach? Is that
early childhood certification in Missouri is birth through 3rd grade, and then elementary is 1st through 6th grade. So typically a kindergarten teacher will go back, if they have a 1st through 6th grade certification, they'll go back and get certified for pre-K because they want to teach kindergarten. So it's actually 2 that overlap. The first, second, and 3rd grade, the 2 certificates overlap.
Then you have middle level, which is 5-9.
Right. Which overlaps. And typically, your secondary sometimes is 7-12 or 9-12.
Yeah.
So there's some overlap in the state of Missouri, and then, of course, it's different in different states. So, but we will, obviously, teachers that are in our district already may apply for these positions for an internal transfer. We've had some people express that, as well as some paraprofessionals that have expressed interest in moving from a different position. So that'll be open to internal and external applications, and we'll make those moves as we determine what's best in those cases. The difference between the ECSC and early childhood, a person with an early childhood would just be birth through 3. A person that has their special education certification is an additional certification, which teachers can pick up.
Thanks, Kelly. Any other questions?
Are we going to do this separate than the high school special ed teacher?
Yes.
This would be.
I can address that one as well right
Jim,
now.
you got a question on that?
I got a comment that, to remind everybody that we're expecting to be reimbursed from the federal government for about half of these positions. It's in the budget.
Yeah, go back to the gray.
So again, I think a wise decision process that we went through
Right.
to try to figure out how to serve as many children as we could, so.
Yeah, Laura.
It's after the fact.
Laura, in a few minutes, will expand on what we've done specifically in early childhood post registration. But we call this back from the days during the campaign, as Kelly mentioned, to show people we're checking off the list of things that we were going to do, knowing when we presented this there might be some fluctuation. But now that the reality of numbers are hitting, we're kind of walking through that piece by piece. So.
Jim's, the early childhood special education are the ones that are reimbursed. They are reimbursed the year after, so it's always a year later. So our budget will pick up all this cost for next year, and then we'll get reimbursed for the 3 ECSC new positions and the 3 ECSC paras. So,
In FY19. All right. Any other questions?
mention the high
Now,
school
let's
position.
vote on these,
Okay.
if we can. I'll entertain a motion. We approve the 6 early childhood teachers and the 6 paraprofessionals as presented.
I'll
I'll
make
make-
that motion.
Oh, we got dual motions.
Do a
Okay.
motion.
He's got it, and I'll second him.
There we go.
There you go.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Sounds good. High school.
So then we have a recommendation for an additional position at the high school for special education. As we've, not only are we shifting grade levels, but also as our population shifts from building to building, we've identified the reality that the numbers require us to have an additional staff member. And Stacy, Dr. Reed has been tracking those numbers for a year now. And with our move to, a little bit of this has to do with the decision that we were going to deliver services at all 3 elementaries equally. So it kind of ties into that as well. So it's one of those things that it's a result of making decisions that are best for students that causes us to do this, as well as
Right.
just where numbers fall
Yeah.
for a particular year. And Dr. Reed's really good at moving people. As you remember, we discussed, we have moved a position from the junior high to the high school for next year in special ed as well to handle those numbers that happen to be moving in that population.
Okay.
So the recommendation is to add 1 special ed teacher at the high school for next school year.
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Jane.
I'll second that motion.
Thanks, Charlotte. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
There's a good reason to call that out differently because it's a different
Right.
budget than that
Yep.
levy for early childhood.
I think it's also important to note when people are retiring, we've had a few of those, we're trying to find ways to not replace certain people so that our overall goal is to remain as close as we can to our current full-time equivalents and only live within the budget that we said we were going to add.
Correct.